After speaking with Yukiko, Bazet walks home with a heavy heart. As she arrives, she quickly checks on Ghana. He's already dressed for school, his backpack slung over his shoulder, even though it's nearly noon.
Sweetheart, are you planning to go to school at this hour?
Ghana stands by the front door, looking expectantly outside.
I'm waiting for Fitri. She picks me up for school every day.
Bazet's heart sinks. She hadn't realized how deeply the loss had affected her little brother. She takes a deep breath, searching for the right words.
Sweetheart, Fitri isn't coming today. We just came back from her funeral.
Ghana looks at her with a blank expression, as if her words don't register.
Maybe if I wait a little longer, she'll come.
Seeing the emptiness in his eyes makes Bazet's heart ache. She walks over, kneeling beside him and wrapping her arms around him from behind.
I know, my sweetheart. I know how much she meant to you. But, Fitri is gone. She passed away yesterday, remember?
Ghana's lower lip trembles as he clutches his backpack tighter. Tears well up in his eyes, and he shakes his head slowly.
She was my only friend at school. She protected me. She was my first friend.
Bazet pulls him into a tight embrace, her own tears streaming down her face. She holds him close, feeling the weight of his grief and her own helplessness. The afternoon sun casts long shadows across the room. Ghana, now in casual clothes, sits on the couch, looking lost and bewildered. From the kitchen, Bazet watches him with a concerned gaze as she prepares lunch. She walks over to him, trying to lift his spirits.
Hey, sweetheart, do you want me to make you something? How about our favorite hot dog with sambal?
Ghana shakes his head slowly, his expression unchanged.
Is there anything you'd like to eat?
He shakes his head again, and Bazet feels a pang of helplessness. Determined to lift his spirits, she decides to invite him outside.
Do you want to play outside?
Ghana glanced at the door, his eyes reflecting a longing to return to the carefree days he shared with Fitri. Understanding his unspoken wish, Bazet nodded.
All right, let's go outside. You go ahead. I just need to wrap things up in the kitchen real quick. Wait for me for a minute, okay?
Yes, big sis.
Ghana stepped outside and noticed a cat sleeping peacefully by the door. Meanwhile, Bazet hurriedly turned off the stove and cleaned the kitchen utensils, eager to join Ghana. As she finished up, a loud yowl from the cat echoed through the house. Dismissing it at first, she froze when a sharp thud followed by another distressed yowl pierced the air. Alarmed, she rushed outside. Her heart dropped at the sight that greeted her. Ghana stood a short distance from the front door, looming over the lifeless body of the cat. A stone, stained with blood, rested in his hand, and a trail of crimson led back to where he stood. Bazet's vision blurred, and her balance wavered. Cold sweat trickled down her back as disbelief washed over her.
Sweetheart? What have you done?
Ghana turned to her, laughter bubbling from his lips. For the first time, fear crept into Bazet's heart as she looked at the boy she once called sweetheart.
It's supposed to be fun, big sister.
What do you mean? You just killed a cat.
Yes, killing a cat. It should be fun taking the lives of weaklings. No wonder God took Fitri's life. Maybe it was fun for God to take lives whenever God wants.
Why?
Because I can.
Bazet closed her eyes, desperately trying to regain her composure amid the chaos. She took a deep, steadying breath before approaching Ghana. With trembling hands, she gently removed the blood-stained stone and placed it on the ground, her grip firm but gentle as she held his shoulders.
Go clean yourself up.
Yes, big sis.
Ghana shuffled back into the house, a disturbing chuckle escaping his lips. Bazet stood there, paralyzed by shock. The boy she knew seemed to have vanished, replaced by someone unrecognizable. With a heavy heart, she went around to the back of the house to retrieve a shovel. She dug a small hole, her hands moving mechanically, consumed by a numb sense of duty. Once the hole was ready, she carefully wrapped the cat in a white blanket and placed it tenderly into the grave. Her voice trembled as she whispered a heartfelt apology.
Please forgive the kid. He is confused. I am sorry.
With tears blurring her vision, Bazet covered the cat with dirt, each shovel full of a painful reminder of the day's events. When the burial was complete, she wiped her tears and returned to the house. The next morning, Bazet sat across from Ghana at the breakfast table. The room was thick with unspoken words. Ghana ate his cereal with mechanical precision, while Bazet pushed her porridge around the bowl, unable to muster the will to eat. She kept glancing at him, troubled by his calm demeanor in the face of such violence. It was as if yesterday had never happened, and Ghana's normalcy only heightened her confusion. After breakfast, Ghana prepared for school. Bazet watched in silence as he dressed, his usual routine now tainted with an unsettling edge. When Ghana was ready, he turned to her with a casual air.
I'm going.
Bazet's heart skipped a beat. Just the day before, he had waited for Fitri to take him to school. Now, he was heading out alone. She hesitated, torn between confronting him and respecting his apparent desire for normalcy.
Okay, take care. Oh, and sweetheart, Mom and Dad will be home tonight, probably by late night.
Okay.
Bazet's mind swirled with unanswered questions, but she forced herself to let him go, her worries gnawing at her insides. Hours passed, and the afternoon began to wane. Ghana, who usually came home well before this time, was late. Bazet's anxiety mounted.
I knew it. Why did I let him go alone?
Just as she was about to head out to search for him, she heard the front door creak open. Ghana stepped inside, his socks soaked and his shoes in hand.
Where have you been?
At school.
Don't lie to me.
I was at school.
Oh, you want to play this game? Fine. I'll be waiting here for my real little brother.
Okay.
Bazet's heart sinks as she watches her brother's indifferent response. Normally, such a statement would have sent him into tears, but now he seems unfazed. He sets down his bag and shoes and heads for the bathroom. Unable to bear the facade any longer, Bazet follows him. She hurriedly undresses and steps into the bathroom, where Ghana is already in the bath.
Stop this, Ghana.
Ghana glances up, his eyes heavy with sorrow.
Big sister, why are you calling me by my name?
What's happening to you? Why are you acting like this? I don't understand. Right now, you feel like a stranger wearing my little brother's face. What are you? Who are you?
Tears begin to stream down Ghana's face, his cries silent yet profound.
I don't know, big sister. Why can't this pain go away? It burns inside me, like being sliced open over and over. I don't understand. I thought killing the cat would be fun, just like how God took Fitri's life. But does God feel this pain too? When I killed the cat, I laughed because I couldn't cry. I wanted to cry but I laughed instead. Why won't the pain stop?
Bazet's heart breaks as she sees the confusion and anguish in Ghana's eyes. She realizes now that Ghana, despite his maturity, is still a 7-year-old boy struggling to grasp the depth of his loss. He perceives the pain as something physical, like a wound that won't heal. Bazet cradled Ghana tightly, pulling him close to her chest. In that embrace, Ghana's cries erupted with a raw, anguished sound, echoing the pain he had voiced in the hospital.
I'm so sorry for not understanding you. I'm so sorry, sweetheart.
Ghana hadn't meant to deceive Bazet. He had retreated to the woods, the secret hideaway he shared with Fitri, trying desperately to make sense of the torment in his heart. Alone, he sought solace but found none.
Sweetheart, the pain inside you, it can't be healed by any ordinary means.
Ghana's sobs grew more desperate, and he clung to Bazet with a fierce need.
Only time can mend your wounds. Someday, you will learn to let go and accept the pain. But right now, all you can do is endure it.
It hurts so much, I don't understand why it's so painful inside. I feel uneasy, incomplete.
Bazet tightened her embrace, holding Ghana as if she could shield him from the agony.
Big sister, help me.
It was the first time Ghana had ever begged her for help, his voice filled with desperation. He needed guidance, support, and more than ever, he needed his big sister.
I'm here, sweetheart. I'm here, and I always will be. It's okay to let it all out. Don't hold back. Cry until you can't cry anymore. Scream until you can't scream anymore. Just let it all out.
Ghana's cries intensified as he poured out his grief into Bazit's embrace, the anguish finding a small measure of release. Later that night, Ghana lay sleeping peacefully in his bed. Bazit, exhausted from the emotional toll, dozed off in front of the television in the living room while waiting for Yukiko and Ridwan's return. The sound of the front door creaking open roused her. She opened her eyes to see Yukiko and Ridwan stepping into the house, weary but relieved.
Mom. Dad.
Hey, Bazit. How are you? How's Ghana?
I'm good, Dad. Mom, Dad. There's something I need to tell you.
Bazit relayed everything to Yukiko and Ridwan, leaving out the part about the cat. The conversation stretched into the early hours, filled with concern and shared worry.
At least he's calming down now.
I could erase Ghana's memory if it's needed. And erase Fitri from his memory too? That is not the answer, my daughter. You are right, Mom. I think I'm beginning to understand how Ghana feels. He had finally made a friend at school, someone he could rely on. Losing Fitri was like having a part of him ripped away. It's a pain he's never known before. I see. Ridwan, Ghana's drive to go to school wasn't just about attending classes. It was his way of reaching out, trying to find a connection. Losing that friend has set him back significantly.
We'll see how he fares tomorrow. But for now, Bazit, we all here know that you and Ghana only play siblings.
No, I never.
I'm not finished. Bazit, right now, you're his anchor. He relies on you more than anyone. So, stay close and support him.
Dad, I promise. Until the day he no longer needs me, I will be there for him.
With those words, they all went to bed, the weight of the conversation lingering in the quiet of the night. Morning light filtered into the kitchen as Ghana woke up and stumbled into the room. Seeing Yukiko and Bazit there, he bolted forward, throwing his arms around Yukiko.
Mom.
There, my baby boy.
I missed you, Mom.
Yukiko gently stroked Ghana's hair, her fingers weaving through the strands as he clung to her leg.
I missed you too, my son. And about Fitri, I'm so sorry you had to face that while we were away. I know it's not the easiest moment to bring this up, but... My dear, we are all grieving. Fitri was a wonderful girl who shared a part of herself with you. Hold on to those memories and cherish them always, okay?
Yes, Mom. Where's Dad?
As usual, he's out warming up the car.
Before Yukiko could finish, Ridwan appeared, his face lighting up as he called out to Ghana.
My boy, come here.
Ghana ran to Ridwan, who was kneeling with open arms, ready to embrace him.
How's your day been?
Bad.
That's okay. Just take it one step at a time. We're all here for you, alright?
Alright, boys, breakfast is ready. Let's head to the table.
As they were about to move to the dining table, Ghana hesitated and then spoke up.
Mom, Dad, big sister Fraga.
Yes, my son? Yes, sweetheart?
Ghana took a deep breath, his courage wavering but his resolve firm.
Can I stop going to school?
Yukiko and Ridwan exchanged a look, both bracing themselves for this request.
Can you tell us why, son?
There's no reason for me to go to school anymore.
Yukiko took a deep breath, a soft smile touching her lips as she addressed her son.
If that's what you feel you need, then yes, you can stop going to school, my son.
Really?
Yes, really. Besides, you're the child of a scholar, and even your father didn't finish high school, so, yes, you may stop.
La, why bring my education into this?
Thank you.
But remember, Ghana, the journey of learning doesn't end just because you're not in school. There are always new things to discover.
I understand, Mom and Dad.
Come on, let's have breakfast together, sweetheart.
Bazit took her little brother's hand, holding it tightly. In her heart, she made a silent promise.
Until a woman who loves you as much as I do holds your hand with even more love, I won't let go, my little brother.
After breakfast, Bazit gently invited Ghana to step outside.
Sweetheart, let's go to Fitri's house. Oh, right. You should visit Fitri's parents. Your dad and I went there this morning.
Ghana's gaze dropped, and he avoided Bazit's eyes.
Why?
Mr. Nakamura and Miss Mutia are moving to Japan. We should go say goodbye, at least.
Ghana tightened his grip on Bazit's hand.
Let's go.
Mom, Dad, Ghana and I are heading to Fitri's house. Alright, take care.
Bazit and Ghana made their way to Fitri's house, though Ghana seemed unprepared for the visit. As they walked, he thought he saw Fitri in front of him, smiling back just as she used to. The sight was a bittersweet reminder of how deeply she had touched his life. After a long, somber walk, they arrived at Fitri's home. From a distance, they noticed a pair of policemen speaking with Nakamura before leaving. Ghana and Bazit approached Nakamura. Ghana extended his hand and gently rested his forehead on Nakamura's backhand, a gesture of respect for an elder. He then stepped back and stood beside Bazit.
Mr. Nakamura, we wanted to extend our deepest condolences for your loss. Fitri meant a great deal to us, especially to Ghana. Her passing has deeply affected him. She was a bright light in his life, and we miss her dearly.
Thank you, Bazit. We appreciate your kind words. For months, Fitri talked about you, Ghana, during every dinner. She was never as happy as she was when she spoke of you, sharing stories of the adventures and challenges. She even said you were her hero.
Hero?
Yes, you saved her from that vicious dog. I've never mentioned this before, but on behalf of my family, I want to thank you. You brought laughter and joy into Fitri's life. She was always strong and disciplined, but after meeting you, she learned to express her feelings more freely.
We heard that you're moving to Japan today.
Yes, we are. My wife and I are relocating. I'm both glad and disappointed. Fitri was vaccinated here, but it turns out the vaccine was fake. All the children in this village received fake vaccines. On one hand, I'm relieved that this has been uncovered, as it means the children will now get the real vaccine, and the culprit is in jail. On the other hand, I'm saddened by the cruelty of those who prioritized profit over people's lives. This nation lacks honesty. If this continues, in the future, this nation will be eaten alive by corruption.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Mr. Nakamura.
But, well, at least we can take comfort in knowing that Fitri is at peace now, in the afterlife.
How can you be so sure that Fitri is happier in the afterlife?
Nakamura smiled gently and knelt down to meet Ghana's gaze, understanding the struggle the boy was facing.
Ghana, why do you ask that?
Because it feels like God took Fitri's life just for fun. Only God is happy, we aren't. Fitri isn't.
No, Ghana, you're mistaken. God took Fitri because God loved her deeply, more than we do. God understands the pain we feel, but that's a part of life. We all have a time set for us before we're even born. But think of the positive side. Fitri met you. In her final moments, you were there for her. She couldn't have asked for more. God sent you to her so she could leave this world with a smile. And she did, didn't she? Ghana, it might seem like a curse to you, but to Fitri, you were a blessing. When God takes something from us, He often gives back even more in return. Because God understands how painful it is for us, and this pain feels unbearable to me. But look at what has come of it. The village will soon have a real vaccine, the culprit is behind bars, and this will serve as a powerful lesson for the future.
Ghana's eyes fill with tears, and Bazit swiftly wipes them away with her thumb.
So don't blame God, Ghana. God loves both you and Fitri.
Thank you, sir.
Nakamura rises to his feet.
When will you be heading to Japan, Mr. Nakamura?
Right after this.
At that moment, Mutia emerges from the house.
Ghana?
Ghana takes Mutia's hand and performs the same respectful gesture he did with Nakamura. Mutia, touched by his gesture, envelops him in a warm hug.
It must be incredibly hard for you. We understand, as it's difficult for us too.
Mutia releases Ghana and walks over to Nakamura.
My deepest condolences for your loss, ma'am. Fitri was a wonderful girl and always brought joy to Ghana's life. I'm sorry we can't invite you inside. We're busy packing for our move to Japan. That's all right, ma'am. We understand. Ghana and I, along with our family, will keep you in our prayers for a safe journey and hope it brings you peace and happiness. Thank you, Bazit and Ghana.
These events, they feel like a dream, don't they?
Yes, it all happened so fast.
Ghana, if fate brings us together again in the future, I would be delighted to see you. And if God blesses us with another child, I hope to name them in honor of Fitri and you.
My name?
Yes, so our family will always remember those we've lost. When we meet again in the future, those memories will live on through us.
Thank you, that means a lot.
It's a beautiful way to honor Fitri and Ghana's friendship. We wish you the very best in Japan. Thank you for coming. Your visit has meant so much to us.
Goodbye, Mr. Nakamura, Miss Mutia.
No, Ghana. See you again.
With that, Ghana and Bazit head back home. Their conversation brings a slight smile to Ghana's face, showing a glimmer of hope after the heavy farewells. As they approach their house, Ghana notices 4 kittens playing and sleeping on the mound of earth where Bazit had buried the cat he killed.
Are those?
The kittens of.
Ghana slowly approaches the kittens. Instead of fleeing, the kittens move towards him, mewing softly. Bazit watches in stunned silence as the scene unfolds.
I'm sorry for killing your mother. I'm so sorry.
The kittens begin to climb onto Ghana, but he doesn't push them away. He gently scoops them into his lap. Bazit watches this tender moment and whispers to herself.
God doesn't hate you, sweetheart. Even though you took the life of their mother, God has given you the chance to care for them. It's a form of forgiveness.
Ghana carefully rubs the kittens' chins, cleans their eyes, and smooths their fur. Bazit approaches her little brother.
Ghana, would you like to take care of them?
Yes, big sister. I want to take care of them, until they don't need me anymore.
You truly are my little brother.
Together, Ghana and Bazit find a safe place for the kittens. Bazit prepares some chicken meat for them. Yukiko and Ridwan observe from a distance, deeply moved by the turn of events. It's as if this lesson was crafted by the heavens themselves, a poignant experience that has shaped their son's understanding and growth.
Fitri, why did you have to go?
Because it was my time, Ghana. You're really afraid of being left alone, aren't you?
You were my first friend in school. My first best friend in school.
Ghana, I haven't left you entirely. A part of me remains with you, in the memories we created, in the experiences we cherished. Those will always be with you.
But every time I remember, it feels like there's a hole in my heart. I feel so alone when I think about our time together, our laughter, everything we shared.
You're still grieving deeply. Ghana, look at me. You have to keep moving forward, no matter how much it hurts. The world won't stop for your grief, it keeps moving, and I want you to run with it, to chase after it. Don't look back, I'll be with you in memories, always.
Will you watch over me, even if I become broken in the future?
No, I won't. I want you to live your life fully, and when we meet again in the afterlife, I want you to tell me everything. I'll close my eyes now, and I want you to venture into the world, experience it all, and then share your story with me, okay?
I will. I'll tell you everything, Fitri. Thank you. Even though I still struggle to accept that you're gone, I can find the strength to move past my sadness.
Hello, we meet again. I'll make it quick so it won't be 30 minutes long video. What Ghana felt is called traumatic grief or complicated grief disorder or CGD, which is a form of prolonged grief that can cause intense emotional distress, especially in children. When a child experiences such a loss, they may show unusual or concerning behaviors, like confusion, disconnection, or even harmful actions. Ghana struggles with intense, prolonged, and unprocessed grief. His inability to come to terms with Fitri's death and his actions, which mimic his distorted understanding of death and pain, suggest that he is stuck in a loop of emotional distress. These behaviors are often expressions of their struggle to understand or cope with their intense emotions. It's important to provide them with support and compassion, as healing can take time and may require professional help. Alright, that's it for now, see you in the next episodes. Only 4 episodes left. Fuck yeah, finally this series will come to an end.